Cool. Hans Simmons over here with my guy, Stephen Breadman Edwards. How you feeling, man?
Good. How you?
I'm cool, man. No complaints at all, man. No complaints at all. So, let's jump right into it. Boots officially got his big fight, man. He's fighting Stanionis, April 12th, Atlantic City. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be in the building also. It's not too far from Philly anyways. But what are your thoughts on the fight, man? It's officially happening.
Great fight. I'm happy. I'm happy for him. You know, um, to get the fight he wanted. With all of the controversy of the past few months. So I'm happy that he's finally getting a chance to unify the titles.
Did you ever have like any thoughts where it was just like Boots is so talented. Like I hope he doesn't end up like, one of these other guys that never end up you kind of, getting like a big fight or anything like that.
Um, I don't really think in those terms. Like, I don't. He's 27. Sometimes things just figure themselves out.
When you look at Stanionis, I just seen an interview with Eddie Hearn. He was saying that Mario Barrios is good. Brian Norman's pretty good. But Stanionis, he's the one. He expecting him to give Boots a real fight. Do you expect him to give Boots a real tough fight? Or do you think, not like Roman Villa, but do you think Boots will kind of show that he's like a level above him?
I expect Boots to win.
Mm,
How he wins, I don't really know
mm.
because if he box, he can make the fight easy. But if he like slug and you know be more violent with his approach, and the fight could be a little bit more back and forth. It could be a little bit more exciting. So I think it's kind of like up to him how the fight goes, like what style he decides to execute on that night.
But isn't that kind of typically the way Boots kind of fights? He calls himself Mr. Catcher Body. So, you can't be Mr. Catcher
Yeah.
Body without being really aggressive. So, do you expect him?
Listen, I don't make excuses for anybody. I'm just saying that I've seen him box and use his jab, and guys not really, you know, get, you know, get a chance to really even get anything going against him.
Yeah.
But if he fights, I'll use your term, if he fights in that Mr. Catcher Body style, then I think the fight could be like more back and forth. It could be a little bit more violent because when you fight in that style, you give the opponents opportunities to land their stuff also. So I think it's just going to depend on what style he decides to fight.
What does this fight say about a guy like Stanionis? He had that 2 year layoff. He came back. He got a win over Maestro. And now he's jumping right into a Boots fight. Like, what does this kind of say about a guy like him?
He's a gutsy guy.
Hmm.
He's a gutsy guy. I respect him for taking that fight, for taking the fight.
Do you
I
respect him for
really
taking,
do.
do you respect him for taking the fight based off of kind of like the inactivity, or do you mean like just in general?
Just in general, because fighters don't have to go in unification fights. It's not a mandatory, you know. I respect him. I'm glad he's. I mean, they're giving each other opportunities, but I'm just glad that he's taking the fight because regardless of what a lot of people may say, there's a lot of guys that didn't want to fight Boots. So the fact that he wants to fight him, he's willing to come to Atlantic City and Boots, from Philly, so it's a close ride. He's willing to do all those things. So I respect him. He's a good fighter. He's a professional, and you got to take all professionals serious.
What do you kind of do to kind of I don't know if I want to say beat a guy like Boots, but have the most success against him. He can obviously box really well on the outside, switch his stance, in my opinion, better than anybody in boxing right now. He can go in there and bang it out with you at huge power. Like, what is like the best way to go about it? Boxing him, brawling with him? What do you do?
I think it depends on the fighter, but I mean he hasn't lost and he don't lose many rounds. So, as time go on, their opponents and their trainers, they just gonna have to figure it out. He's a phenomenal talent. He could do whatever he wants to do in the ring. Sometimes being that good though, it kind of makes you as Nazem Richardson used to say to me all the time, sometimes man, being able to do too many things, it causes like decision anxiety where you're like, damn, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that, I could switch, I could go right hand, I could go left hand, I could be inside, I could be outside. Sometimes when guys and only do one or two things, those guys can also be even more successful than the guys that could do everything because they don't got to go in that box and look for the pump shotgun, the 45, the Uzi. They know what they're gonna go get.
Yeah.
So, we just gotta just see as time goes on, man. But it's gonna take a lot to beat him. Boot's a hell of a fighter, bro. Despite all of the media and all that kind of stuff. I personally think the only thing that's gonna beat him right now is struggling to make weight.
Mm.
That can happen to anybody. But other than that, he's a super, super talent.
Last thing on Boots, do you see him getting the stoppage, or do you think Stanionis is just too tough to get stopped, man?
Anybody can be stopped. It depends on how Boots put it together. It depends on how he put it together. If he put it together the right kind of way and open him up, he can stop him. It just depends. I'm not saying he is going to stop him. I'm picking Boots to win, but I don't know. I mean, Stanionis is a strong guy. He's punching back too, and anybody can go the distance. You know what I mean? Like George Foreman got people to go the distance with him, and he's the hardest puncher anybody ever seen.
Mm.
Boots got 33-0 with 29 knockouts, so that means four guys went the distance with him. So people could go the distance with anybody. It depends. I think Boots a little bit too talented. His punches is a little bit too fluid and flashy for the judges. He's good at scoring points. I do think he's gonna win, but I don't know if he's gonna stop him. We got to just see if he goes about it the right way and open them up for a big shot.